Welcome to the Retail Boss Podcast. I am your host, Kina, aka the Retail Boss Guru. Are you ready to learn how to retail to retire? Listen, if you are a cosmetologist, barber, nail tech, makeup artist, salon owner, or just an entrepreneur / business owner, then you are listening to the right broadcast today. My goal is for everyone to take something from this feast of a table that I am about to spread out just for you. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of the Retail Boss Podcast. It's your girl. How y'all doing out there? Listen, y'all already know I'm about to bring y'all a podcast that's getting ready to change your whole mindset. But before I get into this thing, I want to welcome everyone that is watching from my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you guys that are listening to the podcast, whether you're listening from your Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you're listening from. Thank you guys so much for joining in. If you're here on my YouTube channel, make sure that you guys subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I am going to drop another podcast episode. Okay, so today is going to be an amazing episode. And the reason why I say that is because I am bringing in a specialist. I'm bringing in a guest. But before I do, because I know y'all ready for this, because you don't even know what I'm getting ready to talk about. But before I do, we got to have a little bit of commercial break. Okay, now I did a recent survey with you guys a couple months ago, and you all, my listening audience, my customers, which are stylists and barbers, you guys asked me for a workbook. So I have created the survival guide to beauty retail. It is now available on my website. You guys will be able to click the links in the show notes and also click the links below this YouTube video and get that information. The great thing about this workbook is it is digital. So that means you can download it to any device. You're able to walk through your business. You're able to evaluate everything that I'm giving you to look for in your business to improve your business and make it much, much better. And when it comes to retailing, there's so many little bits and pieces that you have to have in play before you can be successful at it. So that's what that workbook is all about. It is only $20, guys. You can invest $20 into your business. I know you can. Put down Chick-fil-A. Let's not eat out today, and let's invest in our businesses. Let your money make you some more money. Okay? All right. So this episode today, guys, is very special and dear to my heart because all of us have gone through this transition during this time with dealing with COVID. And now it is time to relaunch and, for some of us, rebrand and give a fresh start, jump start, kick start your business back into the eyes of your customers and clients. Why do I say customers? Why do I say clients? Because clients are people that actually come into your business and they get service. Customers are those who may be buying from you on your social media platforms or your websites and things of that nature. So you're dealing with two different types of people who are going to bring income into your business. Okay. And we want residual coming into our businesses. So I don't want to be long-winded, but I want to introduce to you guys my guest. My guest has definitely played a huge part in my brand. He's a big brother to me. And what I can tell you guys is I'm blessed to have him to be a part of my team and really bringing things to light in the way that I have envisioned them with the vision that God gave me for my businesses. And so I wanted to bring his expertise to the table. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you guys Shawn Maxwell. Hey, Shawn.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing good. Getting ready for the podcast.
Well, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Retail Boss Podcast. You know, I had to bring you on here. You know, I had to let the world know who is the mastermind behind all of my visuals that they're seeing now on Instagram and my website and all that good stuff. And right. I feel like in the beauty industry, we have a hard time finding the right fit for our businesses. And so I would love for you just to tell the audience a little bit about what it is that you do before I get into digging into asking you some questions. So if you could do that, that would be great.
Oh, of course. Of course. So once again, I'm Shawn Maxwell. What I do branding, photography, marketing, whatever it takes to get your business off the ground. I do videography, shoot commercials, stuff like that, documentaries, shoot movies, just things like that to allow you to take your brand to the next level, because most of us have an idea but don't know how to bring the idea to light. And my job is to help bring that idea to light so we can tell your story of your brand. And that's what I enjoy doing, making sure that we can take your ideas and tell a story with it, because at the end of the day, that's what people want to see, is your story when you put stuff out. And that's what I do. Try to tell your story.
I know that's right. And first of all, you're being super modest because you have worked with some big name companies. I'm not going to tell your business, but you have been doing this for quite some time. And what I can say is I feel like your customer service and your approach to how you do things is very sympathetic for business owners that may not have like a true direction of where they're going. And I feel like you really help to bring all of that together and captivate that. And the process, though, Shawn, the process is what I really want to get to, because I know I met you through seeing your work on someone's Facebook page.
Right.
And I reached out to you on Facebook Messenger. And one of the first things you said to me was that you wanted to do like a FaceTime conversation.
Interview.
Yeah.
Right. Well, basically interview.
Yeah.
Right. And I do that because everybody's not your client. I've been doing this business since 1999, but 2010 professionally. And what I realize is everybody's not for you. No matter what you try to do or you try to help them or what direction you go, you just realize everybody's not for you. So what I do now is, and to me, it's not about the money either. So that's one approach where nobody can get me, because most people try to hit you with, you're going to get this money, you get this, you should do it because you're making money. At the end of the day, you'll lose that money and clientele if you got the wrong clients you're working with, because the attitude or whatever they write, they can write bad reviews if stuff don't go right. So I interview people that I want to work with, because if I can help that person that I'm working with and they can grow their business, we're going to be family from that point on. But there's some people, like I said, if you pick the wrong client and things don't go right, or they don't have the money sometimes, or they don't know what they want, and it just feel like you're wasting time because they're wasting time, and then ends up, oh, it's your fault that I didn't do this, and it's your fault that this didn't happen. So to prevent all that, I like to consult, but I interview. So I like to really just sit down and see who I'm going to work with, then meet face to face before we even talk money, because that's more important, building that relationship first than it is just going for the money, because anybody can go for the money. Well, there's a lot of people out here doing photography and branding and marketing and don't have the skill set. Like, I went to school for this and they just don't have the skill set. So they think, just let me go ahead and get this check and get this check. And you start living check by check instead of just living with your heart.
Wow.
And that's where some of us fail at, you know?
Wow. You said a lot. You said a lot right there. And what I pulled from that more than anything is just really having integrity in what you're doing. And also just making sure that, you know, you're not just about the check, but you're about, you know, building success, you know, with the particular client that you are working with. And if you can't help them, then why take their money? Why give them false hopes and false dreams of something that I can't even really help them produce or get to the next level, or we just might not be a good fit. And
My granny used to say this all the time. All money ain't good money.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Some of that money come with some drama.
A lot of drama.
Nobody has time for it. And I agree with you with that 100%, because at the end of the day, you know, first of all, you can't force people to do something they don't want to do. Right. And if you are a type of business owner that is strategic, that person would really get on your nerves. You know what I'm saying? That person would really get on your nerves, because it's like, hey, we have a deadline. Hey, you know, we came up with a plan, and then you're not doing your part. And that's one of the things I want to talk about, because what I have learned through the process of, you know, creating a whole new brand is having the mindset to really want to change, and also acceptance of there are so many things that I still have to learn, because a lot of us that are professionals, we either A, been doing this for so long, so it's almost like you can't really tell me nothing, or, you know, B, you know, this is how I saw it, but not thinking about the work that it takes to get done what you want to get done with whatever vision it is that you have as the customer. And so putting in that extra work, which a lot of people don't think that, you know, hey, you got to find outfits. You have to practice modeling. Like, you know, you have to also hire a makeup artist. Like, there's so many things.
What happens is a lot of, especially in the beauty industry, we get caught up in looking at celebrities, right? So we get caught up looking at celebrities. You be like, oh, I want this look. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, she can do that. I can't do this. But at the same time, you're not thinking like, you know what? She got a different type of budget than you got.
Right.
She got a different type of team than you got.
Right.
You know, and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses instead of trying to keep up with what you can do. And I think that's what a lot of people in the industry like get hurt at, because, oh, I want to do that. Oh, did you see what Kim Kardashian doing, for example? I want that outfit. I want that look. But if you actually watch the Kim Kardashian show, they got 8 or 9 cameramen.
Right.
They got 2 or 3 stylists that travel with them, 2 or 3 makeup artists. Like, they got a marketing team. When they walk out their hotel room, it's not even just for show. Like, they have a plan just even walking out the hotel room to be seen for only 2 minutes and get back out of the public eye. You know? And I watched that on the Kanye episode. Like, when they were introducing his new line, Kim was like, I'm only going downstairs just for 4 minutes, but I got to make sure these paparazzis are down there. So she's been looking out the window. Her team got her ready just to walk downstairs for 3 minutes. That's a process. But all we see is the finished product. And like, oh, I want that. And we get so wrapped up into that instead of understanding, one, that's her brand, not your brand. That's the celebrity brand, not who you are. They're not in the same business that you're in. Their look may look good. Your look can look the same way if you stick to who you are and not who they are. And I think sometimes that's what we get caught up at when trying to bring the client stuff to light, because these are the examples they're going by. You know, I want to be 6-7 figures looking like that. Well, it starts somewhere. Like, you ain't starting in the middle. We got to start at the beginning and build who you are from there till you can get to that 6-7 figures that you're trying to make. And that's why I like interviewing the clients, because I got to believe in your product as well, just as much as you believe in it. And if I don't believe in it, I can't work with you.
That's right. That's true. That is true. And wow, like, who knew that there was a whole, like, I didn't know that, you know, I didn't know. I know it's production, but wow, I didn't even know it was that deep. And that's the key. Like, you know, when it comes to wanting to, you know, rebrand, change your brand, or expand the brand that you have, you also have to find out like what platforms are good for my business. And that's one thing I can say about working with you. You know, you kind of broke things down to me and said, hey, for what it is that you're trying to do, these are the social media outlets that you need to be trying to focus on, because there are so many. And as a hairstylist, makeup artist, nail tech, barber, salon owner, sometimes we don't really know where we fit. So when it comes to someone like you, you know, we're looking to lean on you for that information. And I can say I can appreciate you telling me like, hey, you got to start going on YouTube. I never saw that. I just never saw. I just saw Facebook and Instagram, and let's not even talk about that because, well, we probably will talk about it, but
yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
I just I just never saw myself going on YouTube, and I think it took some time for me to just break free, like let loose and just let go. And I think a lot of times we try to hold on to stuff and we try to be in control because we are business owners,
right?
And we are afraid, and our business is our baby. And I did a whole podcast episode on your business baby, but our business is our baby. And to allow someone to come in to that space to where I've protected it, I've nurtured it, I've grown it this far, but now this baby needs meat and potatoes. And I have to wean this baby off of Similac.
Right. Eventually, you gotta let that baby go to elementary school.
Right.
And let somebody else help deal and grow that baby and develop that mind. Eventually, that baby got to leave the house. So that's where I come in. I'm that elementary school teacher, high school teacher, or educator that's trying to help develop and move your product in that right direction. Like everything changed every day too, right? So I got to stay studying. You got to stay studying. We got to see where you at. Like things happen every day. Algorithms change every day. Since the pandemic hit, the algorithm had to change because now it went from, I'm just not just throwing out big numbers. So it went from maybe 4 people online to now there's 100 people online because everything is now online, from education to the students to the kids. So and to me, it's just a perfect time to really be online, especially on the Instagram and TikTok platforms, for the simple fact that all the kids and all the parents are really at home on their phones all day because of the pandemic. So guess what they're looking at? They're just looking for something to look at. And
you're right.
If you keep yourself going, eventually you're going to get discovered, but you got to be consistent too. And that's one of the biggest things that we run into in this industry, being consistent. And I don't like to use the word rebrand. I just like to use the word be more consistent, because the only reason why we rebranding is because you felt everybody missed you for the last 2 months because of whatever you had going on, and you haven't post like you post. So when you come out, I got to rebrand myself. No, you don't. You just keep doing what you're doing. This just got to be more consistent. Or like we talk about developing a strategy, so when the moments hit, we have enough content and enough stuff just to keep it going. And that's why YouTube is important, because when your content ain't moving, you can keep sharing them posts to get all your subscribers and looks up. Like right now, we wasn't podcasting on YouTube. Now we on YouTube. Like it's growing, so it's part of the process.
Right. Absolutely. And then, you said so much just now, like I can really kick myself in the face. Like literally, I remember you telling me about TikTok like a year before the pandemic. And
we're going to New Jersey, coming from New Jersey.
Oh my gosh. We were doing the Ultimate Women's Expo in Jersey. That was 2018.
Yeah, I think it was 18.
I think it was. Was it 2018?
I can't remember.
No, it might have been. It was 2019.
Right.
It was 2019. Yeah, because I launched Retail Boss brand in 2018, end of 2018. So this was 2019, November. I remember it like yesterday. And I was like, man, Shawn, come on, man. Like, I'm just now getting Instagram together, because I want to say, like, at that point, I kind of maxed out on Facebook. I was doing good in that algorithm at that time. And then I was trying to like develop Instagram, and I was like, I can only do so much. Like, you're asking me to do something that I simply cannot do.
So can you imagine?
I don't even want to talk about it. I can't. I'm gonna start crying.
I gave a whole class in that whole 8 hours.
Oh God!
TikTok and LinkedIn.
I remember, because it was like 4 of us in the car, and we were driving, and you were like giving us the tea. And I think we all were kind of like, all right, so all of us in the car, we're like, all right, let's set up TikToks. And none of us did anything with it. Like, none of us did anything with it. And now it's like crazy. And it was like, dang, if I could have just listened, because you study this, so you know what's happening before you even have to deal with a client. You already know what's in the know. Like, you understand technology. Like, you kind of, you know, you're paying attention to the things that we are too busy working and we don't know anything about.
Right.
But I think a lot of the problem that we have is sharing information. Like, a lot of us are afraid to get behind the camera. A lot of us are afraid to make mistakes. A lot of us want to make sure that we look good, that we're perfect. And in the beginning, I can say this, because when I first started doing Facebook and things started moving well for me there, it was a thing to like have your face beat, hair done, da 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 da. And even on Instagram, it's kind of like the same thing. But over the pandemic, when the pandemic happened, people started saying, screw that. I'm going live with no makeup on, hair pulled back in a ponytail. You better be glad I got this wig. I ain't gonna name some celebrity. I don't want to name people's names, but she does her things with her bonnets on. And then she came out with a line of freaking bonnets. Like, it came to the point to where people are like, I want to know the true you.
Right.
I want to know who you are without the makeup, without the wigs, without being dressed up. All that's nice, all that's cute. Save it for the pictures. But at the end of the day, when you're talking to me, I want to know the real you. And I think that has been a struggle for a lot of us as beauty professionals, because remember, beauty is everything to us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So how do you even get people to that point to where they kind of can break free of some of those things?
Well, you got to go ahead and basically let go of them insecurities, because that's really what it is.
Ooh, you just punched us in the stomach.
Once you let go of that, and what's the number one biggest fear, or number two biggest fear? Other people's opinion.
Yeah.
You know, and that will still come down to insecurity. And that's the thing, because when you watch stuff like Love and Hip Hop, or stuff that you enjoy watching, even as a kid, when you're watching like certain trilogies or series, it feels like you're growing and develop with the character. You didn't grow and develop with the character or musician that you love listening to based off of their looks. You grew up with them based off of who they were. Even when people watch Power, like, this to a point, people are so developed into the character.
Yes.
When they see these people in real life, it's like, oh, that's Ghost. You gotta go get him. Like, no, his name is not Ghost, but you felt like you developed and grew over the seasons with them. And that's the approach you should take when you're out there working with your brand, because people want to know the real you. Like, they don't want to go to, see you online and you fabulous, and then show up and you are not who you look like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's cool because you know your shit, but at the same time, it's not cool in their eye, because you're gonna be like, this is not what I was expecting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always good just to be you. And when it comes to branding, I look at it as, you got the popular kids and you got the unpopular kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what set the popular kids apart is what? Just them being who they are. They don't know most of the time, they don't know they popular until somebody tell them they popular.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they popular is because they just out there being who they are. They just cool, laid back, outgoing. And that's where people fall in love with. Just like the characters in the movie. The unpopular versus popular dudes in the movies, or the girls, they don't fall in love with them because they look good. No, they fall in love with the character because that character is very interesting and engaging, and they become cool that way. And that's how I like to approach when it's like branding. Like, what about you that people gonna love and engage with you about? We can once you take all the makeup and all the hair and all the clothes and throw it to the side, what is it about you that draws people in? Why do people want to kick it with you? Why do people want to hang with you? Why do people want to call? Why do they want to call you friend?
Right.
And once you get to figure out why, then it's easy just being you at that point. Because, okay, so I got 17 friends, and these are the reason why these 17 friends want to get with me. So now when you put it out on your business, them 17 friends turn into 30, 40. Now everybody start like, yeah, I like Keena. She funny. Oh, she cool. She down to earth. Look at, I got that same outfit. Oh my gosh. Like, I didn't know she was in Target. She like Target too. Like, people want to feel like they're growing and being friends with you.
That's true. That's true. That's so true. And I think a lot of us have another issue, and you said everything that you said kind of goes into this is lifestyle. Like sharing your lifestyle it's a thing. And I didn't want to accept it as being a thing, but over time I had to recognize and realize like people just want to know who I am on a regular basis. They want to see me shopping. They want to see me walking. They want to see me going in a restaurant or, getting in my car. Like they want to see me with all the boxes lined up, getting ready to ship them out and fulfill orders. Like people they want to see stuff.
Right.
And I can tell you, I personally wasn't used to that. I'm very private. And I didn't realize how private I was until you told me like, you need some lifestyle photos. Like you need some lifestyle videos. Like people need to know who you are outside of just being the retail boss.
Right.
And that was a problem for me. It was hard.
It's just not you though. Like I even had a hard time at first too, because I worked in corporate America, right? So I had to learn it was a switch. When I'm at work and I'm being a boss, like my whole demeanor and attitude is boom, boom, straight by the book. Like, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, we got to do that. But once I left that world and started getting into the social media world, I had to learn like just because the camera on doesn't mean I have to be that way. Because that's not who I am. I'm a clown. But when the camera come on, oh nah.
Serious.
Oh nah. So I had to learn how to let that go. Like I can't be the boss on camera. I got to be who Shawn Maxwell is. And it even took me a hard time just to break out of that shell. And when the moment I cut the camera off and not taking pictures, then I'm back to clowning like 30 seconds after. And I'm like, you know what? That's not really me on camera. And it actually took my mother to tell me that, like, yeah, all that's that corporate stuff. You gotta let that go. You ain't doing that no more. I need my son. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, I get it.
That was the main thing.
Okay. And guess what? That's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. And I think you still can be strategic in what it is that you want to share and what it is that you just want to simply keep, private, because when you think about celebrities and those that have like reality television shows, I don't know how much of a break they get, but I'm sure a lot of it is kind of stage situations and things like that. But the cameras are going to be in your face all day, all night or whatever. So they still have those moments to where they're like, okay, today we're recording and tomorrow we're just not. So you just have to still have a strategic plan on what it is that you are wanting to do and wanting to share to be able to capture those moments. And for that, we need someone like you to be able to give us that direction. And I think that we're doing a really good job thus far. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for nobody else. And I know you have lots of other clients that you service as well. So we're going to take a pause.
No, we're good. We're good at like 3:15 right now.
Okay. All right, cool. We're going to keep going then. So one of the other things I want you to address when it comes to dealing with the client, okay, particularly beauty professionals.
Right.
What are some of the pitfalls? I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna let you say it because it need to come from your mouth. Because see, I had to hear it from your mouth to my ears for it to click. So what are some of like the things that you have to deal with, with us on set, on location, like, what are some of those issues that you have to deal with us?
Okay. So a lot of people feel that they just show up and it's about to happen. Right. And this is why I interview my clients, because they got to know. Right. So you just don't show up to we about to do a shoot. You got it. Okay. So we got a makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How many outfits? Well, just because you got 7 black outfits doesn't mean you show up with 7 black outfits. Right. So that's one thing. Two, let's be the authentic you. And that's sometimes hard for people in the beauty industry because they always surrounded by their peers and what others are doing around them. And it's just naturally that if you see it enough, you pick it up and subconsciously you end up doing what they're doing that has nothing to do with your brand, but now you're keeping up with the Joneses. Then you got the I want $1 million production
on a shoestring budget.
A shoestring, more like the length. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the cheapest guy out there. So when I tell people, like, yo, before we can get that far, I don't even like discussing prices until I know this is what you really want to do, right? Because then I can work something out with you and we can build this brand together. But when you tell them, oh, hey, this is what I charge. Well, I'll hit you back. You got to learn how to invest in your business, in yourself. Like, you can't expect to make all this happen if you're not willing to invest in yourself. I have to invest in myself in order to keep people in front of me that I'm working with looking good. I can't go out there and shoot you with a cell phone. No,
right.
I can't go out there and shoot you with a $300 camera. I could, but I don't.
Okay.
You know, so I got to invest into the equipment, into everything that you need to bring your vision to life. So if I got to invest in myself, this equipment is not cheap.
Right. And assistance. Sometimes you have to have like another person helping you.
You need like, if this is the beauty industry and this is your brand, you need the makeup artist. You need a stylist. You need somebody like I put boards, like mood boards together so we can discuss the outfits and the looks that you're going for. So you just can't show up. Like, you can't show up with a pink outfit with one makeup style. Because when we switch to the red outfit, we need that lipstick to change. We need that eyeshadow to change. And we need to make it work. Unless you just want to do a solid natural look and then you ain't planning on changing. But all this comes into play. And then you just can't show up and say, hey, I just want to do this shoot. But where are you putting these images at? Where are you putting these videos at? Does these images fit your website?
Okay.
Does these images fit the look that you're going for when you're promoting your graphics or your classes or whatever you're planning on using these images or videos or these commercials? Like, why am I shooting a Toyota commercial and you're not, and it's for your hair salon? We shoot a whole video of you driving in the car, talking about your brand. Then we pull up to your salon. 80% of the video has nothing to do with what's going on in your business. So we got to reconstruct that to fit so people know this is the story that you're trying to tell. But you get caught up in the other people's stuff. And then this is what you bring to me. And I'm like, you know what? I might not be the fit for you because I'm going to tell you exactly what I need or from you to get this done. And if you can't comply with it, then I got to move on because I don't want to waste your money or my time on something that I can't grow with. And most of the time I pick people or work with clients that I know if they're growing, I'm growing. If I'm growing, they're growing, and we're growing each other. And if we can't do that, then I think we're just wasting our time because you're chasing other people's dreams and not your own. And then when things don't go your way, I get discouraged. I didn't want to post nothing. And I was the first one to wear the black shirt in this picture. And now she got a black shirt in her picture. I'm like, y'all know y'all ain't the first ones, period. Anyway, though. What's the problem?
True. That's true.
And it's just stuff like that.
That's true. So what I got out of everything that you just said was one, vision. Okay, guys, listen, because I'm giving y'all some points here. One, having a vision. Two, planning. And in that planning phase, that includes, like you said, storyboards, makeup artists, clothing and hairstylists.
Real quick, don't plan your shoot a week before your shoot.
Got it.
Right? Give yourself 3 or 4 weeks because you never know when your package is going to be shit, especially since the pandemic. You don't know. Like, you got to give yourself time to create a story. You just can't say, oh, I want to show up and just stand in front of a backdrop and take pictures. Like, you might have them pictures already. So we might need to go outside so we can bring light to your picture. Okay, so these are the 4 looks. I need a laptop. I need a book in your hand. I need you acting like you're carrying suitcases, like you're traveling somewhere, to create other visuals that help you. So give yourself time with your whoever you use for branding and marketing, your visuals, your story, to put something together to where y'all can fit what's going to happen on the day you get there.
Got it. Okay. And then that takes us into budget. So what should we be like when it comes to budget for just like a basic photo shoot? Like, tell us what that looks like. Like, what does that entail? Like 2 looks, 3 looks, hair, makeup? Like, what should we be looking for in terms of budget? Because I think a lot of us, we don't have a budget in mind. We just need to do all this stuff and we got to pay for all this stuff. But then we also still have to pay the person that's doing the work.
Right. So just say a basic shoot. Just say you do a shoot for $250. Most of the time, well, it all depends in your area. Let's say wherever area you in. I deal with major city areas, and so my budget's a little different. So I'm basing it off of a general group. So say you charge $250 for a photo shoot, right? So that's not including no makeup. That's not including your hair. That's not including your outfits. That's not including no props or nothing for your set. That just means you showing up with really a few color backdrops and whatever you decide to bring with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, and most photographers only editing 5 pictures out of that. Right? And then you got some photographers that don't even give you all the photos for that. Like from the entire shoot. They pick out the best 5 or 6 they're going to edit that represent their brand. Right?
Wow.
So you have some of them, you have some photographers and videographers that do that.
Okay.
Right? And I get it because it's a sales thing. Just like when you're retailing your product, you don't tell them everything you need at the front, but when they get to that front and they see that shelf, then you start hitting them. Right? And there's no different in photography. Okay, so I got all your images, but you can view these. Oh, I really like that one. Oh, so that's an extra $5 if you want me to get this picture, and then if you want me to edit, that's another $8. If you want me to frame it, that's another 100. So you start upselling.
Okay.
But that's the game.
Okay.
It's no different from selling on a retail shelf in your hair salon. Oh, you know you need that conditioner. Oh, you want your hair to keep going like that and maintenance when you ain't around me. You need that conditioner. You need that shampoo. Matter of fact, you need that brush. So let me go ahead and give you all that. And basically, that's the same thing in photography. And another thing is your budget determines your outcome. So you pay for what you get.
That's true.
You pay for what you get. If you want somebody to come and show up because they got a camera or a good cell phone, hey, all the credit goes to you. Do what you do. But if you, you know what I'm saying? If you come to me, we're talking the good pricing because I got hairstylists. I got makeup artists. I got people that can dress you. I can pick out colors. I can design stuff. I can build stuff to fit and bring whatever you want to life. Everybody can't do that, but that comes with a cost. So it's all about what you want and what you're willing to spend or who you want to work with and willing to grow with. You know, and that's why if you find a photographer that you enjoy working with, then work with them because they'll work with you. Like if they know you're gonna keep coming back, you ain't got to keep getting hit in the head with all these high prices and all whatever, because they know, okay, I know I'm gonna see her twice a month or see him twice a month or at least once or twice or once a month. I get to see this person, so we building that relationship versus they about to spend this $1,500 and I see them once a quarter. Like you're not building a brand because you're not building consistency. So, and other photographers, and I'm just gonna be real with you, are jealous of other photographers. Like I don't want to shoot a client and then next week, oh, you shooting with blase. Then next week you shooting with somebody else, and then next week you shooting with somebody else, and then next week you shooting with somebody else, and then you come back to me. I'm not gonna work with you.
It's not a good look for the brand.
Nah, or me. Because that's all you telling me is you didn't like, in my mind, you didn't like what I did, so you kept jumping around before you get back to me.
Right. And guess what? Word to the wise, that it happens to us behind the chair in the beauty industry, and we don't like the way that feels.
Right.
So since that's the case, we need to make sure we don't do that to other people. You know,
that's why I interview the people I want to work with. And I'm not afraid to tell you, like, yo, I'm cool. Now, if I send you somebody to go work with, if you're not in the city and I can't get to you, 9 times out of 10, I got a team of photographers. I will send somebody if I can't get to you. But once you jump out of that circuit, oh, nah, we good. I'm not in a rush to come back to you. I'm not even in a rush to answer your phone call. You might have to start texting.
got to show that loyalty, because it's an art. It's an art in what you are displaying for someone's brand and for someone's business. It is a production, and that was the last point: vision, planning, budget, and then we have production. And just tell us what goes into production, because at the end of the day, you're producing a product for your client to now be able to use, for them to be able to make money. So I know you mentioned like editing, with the videos and things of that, not videos, photos, things of that nature. But full on production of someone's brand, like what does that look like?
So not even just anybody brand, right? Even when we right here, we're doing the podcast, right? So I got a camera here that's pointing at me. Then I got one, if y'all notice, I'm looking down right here pointing at me. I got a light over here, right? This backdrop is a $600 backdrop behind me.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? I got plants from Hobby Lobby around me. So just to do this podcast alone is a production for me. So imagine if I'm shooting your commercial and we plan it out and we sort it out. I come with 1 or 2 guys. Right. So prime example, I just shot the commercial for Frito-Lay in Perry, Georgia. Right. So I shot a commercial. It was me and 3 other guys. The interview, I got boom mics, C-stands, lights. I got scrims to block off so the sun don't hit them too hard. While I'm doing that, I got another guy getting all the B-roll of all their trucks in the parking lot with them working. I got another guy that's flying a drone. All this to get a 1 minute and 15-second commercial.
What?
All of this, right? And it took 2 days. We rode in the truck with the truck driver. I knocked out the 4 interviews, had to make sure the audio was right. Then we had to get 2 of the supervisors. And while I'm doing all the interview part, oh, don't forget my sound guy, Lil Shawn. He out there making sure all the sound sounds crisp and clear, because you don't want to have a commercial or a documentary. Audio would destroy your film. So he out there, all he doing is listening, making sure everybody clear, no batteries dying, and just for that part. So that's me and him. I got my partner B. He's literally outside watching them unload a truck, videotaping that, catching them at different angles, got them reenacting going up under the truck, got them getting out the truck, got them following all their safety guidelines. Period. Just for the video. And then my drone guy, all he do is fly the drone. Right. And that's a production. That's production. So if it's coming down to your business, I can see even for photos, it's a production for me. Even though stylists, they're not for some reason, stylists are not stylists for their own photo shoot. Right? You've been doing hair for 15 years, but we get to your photo shoot, we ain't doing our hair.
I do my hair. I don't know what they got going on.
You do yours, yes. Everybody else don't.
Yeah, they got to have a whole glam squad now, right?
Right. So I got a makeup artist that come in, they makeup ain't really makeup artists when they get here.
Oh Lord, no.
Right? No, they can do the makeup. It's just when they get here for photos, they can't do the makeup. So here go to production. I got a behind the scenes guy. All he doing is doing all the B-rolls and stuff for like the reels, TikToks, and little small stuff for our social media content. His whole purpose is just walk around getting B-roll. And this is a photo shoot now. Then I got another camera set up just so I can get other stuff, content. So when I talk for YouTube, I have that going just for YouTube. We ain't even get to the photos yet. So now the hairstylist got to work on the hair. The makeup artist is here to work on the makeup. Now we got to make sure we got here we go. So we got all the clamps, Velcro, stitch wickery, sewing needles, so sewing kits, all because
Oh boy.
You didn't come. Some people don't come prepared with that
Right.
outfit, so it might be too big or too little. But by the time we shoot that photo, we done squeezed you in your outfit. We just can't shoot you from the back, but we got everything that we need.
Okay.
Boom, to bring that outfit together. So that's just putting the outfit together, the hair and the makeup. Now I got the lights. I got about 4 or 5 lights going, maybe 3 or 4. Boom, that's up. Another camera just to shoot photos while they get in the behind the scenes and while we get into YouTube. So it really turns into a production.
Wow.
So by the time the client leaves, by the end of that week, they got their photos. So we got to edit the photos. This is all before we even get to editing. So they got to pick out the photos they want and they like. We edit them photos just for the content or whatever we're going to put them at. And while that's going on, my behind the scenes guy done put out reels, B-rolls, all that type of stuff for social media purpose so we can promote that. So while he's going, hey, at Shawn Maxwell studio, this is what's going on. We use this, we use that. The client brought this and brought that. And you can see the process behind the scenes, basically like that. And then turn around, I go ahead, just like I'm sitting in front of here on the podcast, putting it together for YouTube. So that one photo shoot is 1 week worth of content, period. And that's a production.
Wow. That ain't no joke right there, brother.
No.
So let me ask you this question, and we probably can close out a little bit. I think you've given us a whole lot to think about. So let me ask you this last question: where if someone is just getting started and like their money might be tight, they know they need to produce something, and they've been trying to do it on their own. It's time for them to go to the next level. Where should they start off when working with a photographer?
You start off with the right conversation.
Okay.
And being honest. So I got a client, I'm not going to say their name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she was looking for a photographer and videographer to help her with her content. She just started her business, right? Mm-hmm. And I shot her my prices. Well, she was price shopping because she didn't know where to start. So I gave her my price, and she was like, oh, okay. But by the way she said, okay, I could just tell like she's still growing. She ain't where she need to be. So it starts off with being honest and having a conversation. So my next message to her was like, okay, by the way it sound like you really can't afford what you're looking for. So what is it that you need? Well, I got this and I got to keep producing it. But right now, I just don't have the money to produce it the way everybody pricing me. And this is right now kind of pricey for me. So I was like, that's very interesting. So tell me about your brand. Matter of fact, FaceTime me real quick so I can see it's you I'm talking to. So she FaceTime. We talk. And she was like, this is what I can do. This is what I got going on. I work here. And like basically she gave me the real rundown of what's really going on. So I was like, I tell you what, I'm going to work with you if you can work with this budget here. Mm-hmm. If you can work with this budget consistently, like every time you get new stuff in, you call me and we'll shoot that new stuff. But this is your budget. If you can work with that and this is what you can only afford, then we're going to do this twice a month. Can you do it? She said, yes, I can do it. And I promise you, whenever I get extra money, I shoot it to you. And I was like, that's cool. But if for order to me to get to the budget I want, we got to stay on this path. So when you your money start rolling in and you start getting it, then you start shooting me what you're supposed to be shooting me. But until then, let's work. And ever since then, sure enough, the first month went by, she came 3 times that month for that budget, knocked it out, and her content got boom, boom, boom. Now she started selling out of a lot of her stuff. So now when we shoot, I don't even say nothing because I leave it the way it is. I don't even have to say nothing. Next thing you know, when that Cash App or that PayPal hit, oh, I see the extra in it. I don't even say nothing because you know what we talked about. And we're going to keep working because I want to see you grow. So for you to grow, right? That means once you start growing, then I can grow with you. So when that brand kicks off and you start franchising, guess who's gonna be the guy with you? The guy that you trusted from the beginning. So it all starts with having the right conversation.
Yeah.
Not saying all photographers or videographers or brand people gonna work with you like that.
Right.
But some of them that believes in you, like I said, I gotta believe in your brand, but it just starts with the right conversation and being honest.
No, you're right. I get it.
Don't tell me, right? Don't tell me I can't afford this. And then we get to the shoot and you got an Audi.
Right.
You jump out the car with Gucci. Like, this is what we doing. Oh, okay. I tell you what, this is our last shoot.
Right? No, I get it, because I know I've worked with a photographer before. It was my first time working with this gentleman, and we were supposed to be doing a shoot for like our engagement photos, and he totally didn't get the vision. He did not understand in terms of like Black women, and I'm just saying this because I can say it to you. Okay. Right. When you're shooting a Black woman, we are very cautious about our curves. We're very cautious about things showing, undergarments, like making sure we're positioned the correct way to elongate our bodies, or, whatever we have going on. We're very particular. And I felt like this particular person, they were just caught up in, I'm shooting a Black couple I've not done before. We're in a great city that has a lot of scenery. He knew exactly where to take us to shoot. And when it came down to it, it was like he didn't capture these moments the way I would have liked for them to be caught. And he had a crew of people. And I just couldn't believe out of a crew of people, nobody caught my undergarment showing. Nobody told me like, hey, sis, you need to suck in. Hey, you need to turn your body this way and bring your leg that way. Like, these things were not done. And his vision was to catch things in the raw. My vision were to catch things and make them look like a full product that's polished. So we had two different visions in what, you know what I mean?
Right. And so this is my question, right? So everybody that experienced the same thing. So when you go back to that conversation, you be like, damn, I should have did a mood board with him. Right.
Yeah.
Or dog, I should have discussed all this before I even got to this shoot. Because once you there, it's over. And that's why I say I like to have these conversations. That's why I said don't book a shoot and then show up. That's why I like to have these conversations leading up to the shoot. So when we get there, it's not like boom, boom, boom. And then some photographers and videographers are especially other races, right? Other cultures. Let me say cultures. That sounds better. Other cultures, when they shooting our culture can be intimidating sometimes. So they might be scared to say, oh, I can see your bra. Like something that simple to them is like, oh, she might get offended if I say it. Not knowing, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, oh, her thigh, her spank showing, right? So he might be thinking it, or they all might be thinking it, but they might be scared to say it because, once again, we're afraid we may offend people. But if you built that rapport the moment y'all got on y'all first conversation leading up to the shoot, that should have never been an issue.
Yeah. Right. That's the thing. That was the thing. It was discussed. And, we had this whole, our presentation that was presented to us so that we knew that we had the right person for the job. Everything looked great. Like all the work looked great. I'm like, okay, this is going to be the joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't think that the conversation on the other end, meaning what came out of my mouth to the ears of the person that I was working with, I don't think they fully understood how important this was for me and how I wanted this to go forth and how I wanted it to look. I think they just had a vision in their mind. And regardless of what I said, this is just how I shoot. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to like edits and things of that nature, like I know we getting ready to pause for a second, but when it comes to edits and things of that nature, now we are as clients picking out the photos. Like you said something a second ago not a second ago, a few minutes ago, you said that the photographer would pick out the best photos to display his work.
Right.
But what about what the client is wanting to see? You know what I'm saying? Because again, you got two different sets of eyes. You see one thing, I see something else. And to me, this ain't what I want to put out. But for you, it's like, but this is good and this is art because, and guess what? Getting that permission to say, hey, well, you go ahead, put on your site. I'm fine. I'm a client. That's fine. But for what I want to display, these are certain things that I'm looking for. And so this is the reason why I don't want to post these pictures, or let me pick out the pictures I want. One thing I can say I love about you is that you ask me, like you pick out the pictures that you want me to edit. And with the other person I had, they sent me back what they wanted. And then they didn't really edit. And they didn't tell me that till after the fact. Like, hey, I don't do a whole lot of editing in my photos because I like to catch this raw feel. And I'm like, where's this information coming from? You know, I never heard that before. And guess what? I paid that money up front. Everything was done, but I was not all the way satisfied. And I can't stress how important it is for us to make sure that we are just working with the right person. You know what I'm saying?
It's very important. That's why I allow the client to pick out what they like, right? And I edit what they like. Knock it out, give it to them. Now, don't come to my social media after that because I'm going to post what I like. I gave you what you like.
Right.
That happened to me before. I let her pick her stuff out and she was like, boom, boom, boom. Picked out pictures that I'm particularly won't because I have a different type of clientele. I'm not posting no picture with you laying on the floor. But the pictures I did post is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I wanted them. Why? Well, you didn't pick them. So you can get them off my social media page. But I gave you and allow you to grab what you want. You know what I'm saying? But these going on my social media. Well, I want them too. Well, now it's going to cost you.
Absolutely. I get it. So we're going to just pause right here. We're going to take a little commercial break and pay some bills, and we will be right back. Hold on for us because we got a little bit more to go. Got a couple more questions to ask. And then we're going to be granting you guys some information on how you can work with Shawn and his brand and what it is that he offers. So hold tight and we will be right back.
Boom. And where it go?
Thank you guys for joining us back. We took a little quick break right there, had to pay some bills, and we are back with Shawn Maxwell, and we have been talking about how to brand yourself in the beauty industry space. And what I can tell you guys is this guy has given us so much information. We're so glad to have you here today. And I just want to make sure that we have all the bases covered, Shawn, because you hit on so many things. And before we close out this session, I just want to make sure that we can just recap everything that we discussed. So we started off, and I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast take notes. So we started off this session by talking about vision, making sure that you either have a vision of what it is that you're looking for with your business and with your brand, and how to collaborate your vision with a photographer / videographer to bring your entire mission to its totality. Okay, so we talked about vision. We talked about planning. Shawn gave us some key tips about storyboard creating. Talked about hiring stylists, makeup artists, making sure that you have your clothing, your hair visuals, so that everything can come to its complete full circle. And if you don't have that vision, it's hard for you to plan what it is that you're trying to execute. And if you don't have a plan, you're going to have major problems with your production, which the next thing we discussed was budget, what that budget should look like starting off, where you should be thinking in your mind, especially if you're like, hey, I'm on a budget. I want to do all these great things, but where do I start? Shawn gave us a great place where we should be starting, and starting off with photos and what that budget should look like in the beginning. Not to say that that has to be your budget, but I think Shawn gave us a great number that's going to look like between $250 and probably $350. And then we also went into production and everything that it takes to bring the vision together, for the planning to come full circle, for the budget to make sense, and for the actual steps of the production to take place. And so with all that being said, Shawn, with everyone coming back from the shutdown, dealing with the whole COVID situation, where should our mindset be right now in focusing on projecting, the vision for our businesses? What should we be focused on in terms of like the visual aspect and what we're presenting on our social media pages and things of that nature?
One thing I would definitely say is while the pandemic is happening, until we come out, this is a great opportunity to go ahead and get your websites up to date. So when you do your photos, definitely you can go ahead and update and get your stuff uniform. But everybody that wasn't using a booking app, this is your opportunity to integrate your booking app. Or if you're doing e-commerce, all your photos and videos for your e-commerce business and put it on your website. Because a lot of us get so wrapped up before the pandemic that we didn't have time to keep up on these things. So this is the perfect opportunity to, if you're to do a photo shoot, update your website, update your business cards, update your internet business cards, because now you can pass business cards through the internet with a click of a button. Just like I said, get your booking apps together, get your e-commerce together. Then now you can link all your social media stuff to your website. And then they got this thing called Linktree now, if you're not familiar with it, where you can put all your links into your all your social media links into this one format, and people can click on it and see where to go to purchase your classes if you have classes, to purchase all your boutique stuff, to purchase or book something from you. So this is the perfect opportunity to get started as far as your brand, on unifying it with all the other platforms through your website. And the best thing you want is to draw traffic back to your website. It's cool to have all that to your social media, but you can get paid off your website with traffic as well. You can, especially with podcasting these days, that's advertisement just to put on your website. So, or if you got YouTube's, put your stuff. So this is a perfect time to really formulate a good business plan and strategy before the pandemic, or we start coming and everything open back up, to have everything uniform so it can be a machine, because this business is nothing but a machine. So this is your opportunity to build your machine. So all you got to do is sprinkle oil on it after your photo shoot. Okay, everything's lined up, so all I got to do is replace this. Everything lined up, so all I got to do is add to this. Everything lined up, so all I got to do is put this here. Oh, I just introduced these new classes. All I got to do is just upload the images with the class now. Now you don't have to scramble and be like, oh, I need an intro video. Oh my gosh, I need this. Oh my gosh, I need a flyer. But in reality, you already have all your templates built out. It's your perfect time to get all your templates, or use Canva, because Canva is a good app to use as well when promoting yourself. You have that lined up. You have everything just got to line up smoothly. So that's what I would say, start unifying your websites to your social media and just updating everything and getting rid of stuff that you ain't going to use and adding stuff that you can use. If you're not a blogger, it's an opportunity to learn how to blog, because that helps create SEO words for the search engine. So people can find you a lot faster. Blogs help people locate you. So when people start looking up, then your blogs can pop up and it helps locate. So this is your perfect opportunity to work on your status. So when you post a picture or a video, your captions or status can fit the image instead of just rushing and do like most people do. I post the image and be like, oh, as the sun set and I sunrise, I am beautiful today. Like, what that got to do with your brand? Like,
make it make sense, right?
You done stole somebody's quote to add to your quote, and now we got quotable Wednesdays that nothing that quotes to your brand. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You're going to do a quote for your brand. Oh, today is a stylist day, where I take the moment to show you how to work these shampoos in this hair when the hair texture is like this. And that's my quote for the day, or my caption for the day, or something like that. Whatever that drives to your brand. So this is the perfect opportunity to work and hone on the skills that you didn't have before the pandemic. Now you have the opportunity to use them and put them together and make your machine run as a machine, so it doesn't take a lot of effort. And this thing right here, when your machine's not running, that's where you get depressed. That's where you be like, oh, I don't have time, or I get behind because you didn't take the time now to get that out the way. So now when you have it have it put together, guess what? You know what? Oh, I just did that photo shoot. I can just drop that in there. Oh, that's smooth. I already know what I'm going to do with this. I already know what I can do with this. And this outfit is particularly just for this. This look is particularly for that. This look is particularly for this, and this is for that. And now you got a machine, so you don't get anxiety. You don't get worried. You don't get bogged down with the stuff that you was getting bogged down with before, and start making, and you can be more consistent. You don't have to make excuses on why you ain't consistent. You don't have to rebrand every month.
Got it. That makes so much sense. And, you know, I've been preaching that and preaching that and preaching that with the e-commerce and making sure all your stuff is, you know, linked together, especially like your website, and you're selling products and people can't find the products, or you're not making the residual income because you don't have things connected, and people, they can't find what they're looking for, you know? So now that new feature on Instagram, being able to have people shop right from photos, dude, that's amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think I'm going to say this, a lot of you guys are stylists. I'm getting caught up because I got to make sure I say this and nobody gets offended. But a lot of stylists and barbers do not have a social media business page. Like, a lot of us we don't see the importance. If you have a page that you've already started building on and you have followers on it, then just turn it into a business page. You don't have to start from scratch. Turn it into a business page. Put all your business information on there that it asks you for. And now you're able to use the following that you already have. And then you can start conforming it to the way that you want it to look and the way that you want it to go, versus having to start from scratch. Because I thought that was what I had to do. I thought I had to like start from scratch. And you were like, nah, you don't have to do that. You can just use whatever you have. Don't worry about what it used to look like. Let people go back and look at the evolution of who you are and what you've become. And it's true, because I get new followers and they go back and they like stuff from like the bottom of my Instagram. I'm like, who has time to sit and scroll? The people are nosy. And people want to see who they're dealing with.
I'm one of them people. I would go to the bottom of your Instagram feed and then work my way to the top. Like, okay. So this when things change. Okay, so this is where they decided they want to start marketing this.
Yeah.
Because if I'm working with a client, I have to start from the bottom.
Got it.
You got to.
Got it. That makes so much sense. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, you know, trying to run 2 and 3 different pages like on Instagram that's not easy work. You know, it really isn't. And I get it if you have like a separate business and you have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, you know, just got to make it make sense. And I'm one of those people that's always putting myself in a position to be found. And I want the people that are working with me and that are part of my team that are helping me brand this business to give me the best advice on how I need to move forward so that I can start to see the success. Because a lot of times, Shawn, we get so, you know, frustrated and flustered when we don't see the money coming in, but then we don't realize that we have all these tools right in front of our faces that we're not even using. You know what I'm saying? So you just brought up some key things here, things that I've discussed in some of my own classes. Like you said, right now we should be focusing on our websites, making sure they're updated. Like Shawn said, booking apps. Everybody in the beauty industry should be using a booking app. If you're not, something is wrong with you. You got to get that together. Now, these business cards, internet business cards, that's a new thing. So
it's not really new, but with everything being hands-free, they got little clickers or little clamps or these little tabs you can tap phones with. Because with the pandemic, you don't even carry cash no more, really.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everything is all electronic. So with the pandemic, you want to be able to send an electronic business card to the next phone beside you. If you want to do the 6 feet distancing, like, here, let me shoot you this. Let me shoot you my business card. I ain't gonna do it physically, but what's your number? Boom. Yeah. Shoot it to them.
Got it. That's awesome. That is awesome. Listen, you taught that. I learned something new today. I didn't even know about that. So thank you for that information.
I'm gonna tell you another thing I do too, right? Like if I go to like a hair expo or I'm in Kroger or Walmart, right? So I ain't saying this work for everybody, but if I say I'm in Walmart and I cut my airdrop on my iPhone,
okay,
right? So I cut the airdrop on, and it'd be like maybe 17 to 20 some people that'll pop up on my airdrop. Well, I just airdrop every last one of my business card. It's up to them to accept it or decline it. Most of the times they accept it. But I would airdrop to anybody in the store, or if I pull up to a gas station, I see there's a crowd at the gas station, I'll turn that airdrop on and just airdrop my business card to everyone that accept it. So you'll see the ones that decline you, and I'll send it to them again. You know what I'm
I never even thought about that. Wow. Okay. That's what's up. Well, Shawn, we get ready to close out this podcast. We appreciate you so much for your expertise and everything that you have brought to the table. Can you tell everybody how they can find you on your social media? And if they want to book you, how can they get in touch with you?
Instagram, you can go to Shawn, SHAWN, L as in Larry, Maxwell like the coffee, traditionally with 2 L's at the end. So Shawn, SHAWN, L, Maxwell, MAXWELL, one word. Now, everything else, you can go to ShawnMaxwellCinema.com, ShawnMaxwellCinema.net, Shawn Maxwell Cinema Facebook, Shawn Maxwell Cinema Pinterest, Shawn Maxwell Cinema LinkedIn, Shawn Maxwell Cinema Yelp, Shawn Maxwell Cinema Google. Like everything else is Shawn Maxwell Cinema.
Got it.
The only thing that changes the Instagram is just Shawn L. Maxwell.
Got it. So they can just straight up Google you and find all of everywhere you are.
Oh yeah, Google me. Oh yeah, you'll find the address to both studios. Soon you Google Shawn Maxwell Cinema, I just pop up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, before we close this out, I don't want to take it for granted that everybody here doesn't need a little bit more inspiration. And y'all already know by listening to this podcast that I am a believer. So y'all know I got a scripture focus for y'all. What's up? What's really going on? That's right. I got a scripture focus for you. And guess what that is? That is Philippians 4:6. On that Philippians 4:6, it talks about do not fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let your petitions praise shape your worries into prayers, letting God know your concerns. Before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness and everything coming together for your good will come and settle you down. And I want to give you that scripture focus for today. That was Philippians 4:6-7, because before you put your business into the hands of another person, you need to pray about it. You need to pray and ask God to help you, to lead you in the right direction for the right person to come along with your brand and work with your business, because it is vital. And you don't have time for mistakes. You don't have time to work backwards. We have time to do nothing but go forward with success on our mind. So make sure you guys don't cease for anything. Pray and ask God for direction before you just link up and start working with people. So guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. Shawn, thank you so much for being a guest on the Retail Boss Podcast. You are awesome, and we appreciate you and can't wait to have you back again, because I know I want to pick your brain for more tidbits and tips, because there's so much more that we need to cover. This was only a piece and a portion, but I know that everybody that was listening today, finding us on YouTube, listening on all the podcasting platforms, got something out of this session. So thank you so much. We appreciate you, and you have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you back again real soon, Shawn. Real soon.
I'm ready.
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 Thank you so much. And thank you guys for joining us on YouTube as well. And we'll see you back again next week. Don't get it twisted. Make sure you tune in for every one of these episodes, because your girl is bringing it to you hot off the presses inspiring you, encouraging you, and pushing you along the way in your business. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.
Thank you for listening to another impactful podcast episode. Please subscribe and leave a comment and let us know how this episode has impacted you and your business. Your comments are extremely important. It helps to make sure that others can find this information as well. To connect with me and my Retail Boss movement, please go to my website at www.retailbossbiz.com and subscribe to receive periodic updates to learn about my up-and-coming events and classes. Be sure to follow and subscribe to my Facebook group, Instagram, and YouTube pages. All of my links to my social media platforms can be found in the show notes of this podcast. Until next time, guys, have a blessed day.